Oh, hello. I'm just out here filming with my trusty Blackmagic Pocket Cinema Camera 4K, and do not believe the haters. This thing easily fits in your pocket. And when it's time to capture that once-in-a-lifetime moment, simply unbutton your pants, hold your lens, dack your trousers, and you're ready to start rolling. But I couldn't help but wonder, surely there's a smaller cinema camera with better specs, because let's be real, this camera makes Derek Small's cucumber look tiny in comparison. Impossible, I hear you say? I think not. This is my Samsung S25 Ultra, and in this video, I'm going to show you how I've rigged it out to achieve what Blackmagic couldn't, a cinema camera that actually fits in my pocket or on a gimbal with full support for internal RAW recording, Open Gate Anamorphic Reeflex lenses, and even Blackmagic Film Gen 5 color science. Don't believe me? Then see if you can easily pick which is the Blackmagic and which is the Samsung. Now I know by itself the S25 Ultra is a long way from being a pocket cinema camera. If you just took this phone, launched the native camera app, and shot side by side with the Blackmagic, the difference is night and day. The Blackmagic delivers an absolutely gorgeous image, whereas the Samsung delivers video that looks like it was shot on, well, on a phone. So how do we transform the S25 Ultra into a true pocket cinema camera? Well, to unlock its full potential, we need a pocket cinema rig build that consists of three key components. The first is the MotionCam Pro app, which unlocks true RAW recording and full manual control. Second is a set of premium lenses from Reeflex, enabling higher quality wide-angle shots, shallower depth of field, and 5.4K anamorphic video. And third is one of these, an ND filter, which is essential for achieving cinematic motion blur using something called the 180-degree shutter rule. Taken together, these transform the S25 Ultra into a true pocket cinema camera that rivals, and in some areas actually beats, the Blackmagic, and at a fraction of the cost. Now that you have a high-level overview of this rig, let's dive in and explore each of the three key elements in detail, so we can go from video that looks like this to this.
Oh, you push and pull, all your kiss is cruel. You give them anxiety, but you keep playing me. You push and pull, all your twists.
Now you might be wondering why I'm choosing MotionCam Pro over the excellent Blackmagic camera app, and the answer is simple. RAW video. While Blackmagic Camera gives us full manual controls on Android, it relies on the smartphone manufacturer, whether that's Samsung, Xiaomi or Google, to deliver the video YUV stream to it, which comes with a ton of heavy image signal processing baked in. This can include digital sharpening, HDR frame stacking, heavy denoising, plus the manufacturer's signature look, which is always way too saturated and contrasty. There's nothing Blackmagic Camera can do about this. The app has to take what's given to it, and as a result, regardless of which brand of phone you're using, this video stream just can't come anywhere close to delivering the same level of quality as B-RAW on the BMP-CC, capturing in Blackmagic Gen 5. But MotionCam Pro changes all this. Not only does it deliver full manual controls like Blackmagic Camera, more importantly, it taps into the RAW sensor stream on the device, and as a result is able to bypass the image signal processing completely and record the RAW sensor stream losslessly in the MC RAW format, which can then be converted to cinema DNGs, and with raw DNGs we can easily transform our video to any color space and log curve we like in DaVinci Resolve, which is free, such as Blackmagic Film Gen 5, to match our BMP-CC. And because we're capturing in RAW, we get full access to camera raw tools in Resolve, giving us more parameters than even B-RAW offers to fine-tune our image. We can adjust exposure, white balance, highlights and shadows, as well as control sharpening, and even employ highlight recovery to restore clipped highlights for insane dynamic range. MotionCam Pro also offers full support for Open Gate Capture 2, which utilizes the entire sensor, giving you additional pixels for reframing in post. And Open Gate is a feature that not even my Blackmagic 4K or 6K Pro offers. So as you can see, MotionCam Pro instantly levels the playing field by unlocking features usually reserved for dedicated high-end cinema cameras. Now let's configure MotionCam Pro on the S25 Ultra to go head-to-head with the BMP-CC so we are ready to capture the highest possible video quality on a smartphone. The first thing we want to do after launching MotionCam Pro is tap on the Mode button and change from photo to raw video. Right now, it's configured to record using the 14mm ultra-wide lens in UHD resolution at 30 frames per second, and we want to change all of this. First, tap on the lens, and for the highest possible quality, always select your main lens, which on the S25 Ultra is a 23mm, then tap outside to close. Next, tap on resolution. Currently, we're recording at 3840 by 2160, which is the standard 16:9 format, but this is achieved by cropping in on the sensor, which typically uses a 4:3 aspect ratio, and discarding information on the top and bottom. Tap on capture resolution, scroll down, and select full sensor. Now we are recording at 4080 by 1360 and getting every pixel available to the sensor, which is great for reframing in post. And lastly, let's select our frame rate and choose 24 FPS. Now my S25 Ultra is in the best possible position to compete with the BMP-CC. Next, let's talk about the second key ingredient in this pocket cinema rig, these lenses from Reeflex. Now, full transparency, this video is sponsored by Reeflex, and they sent me these lenses for testing. These are the lenses I've wanted to get my hands on for a long time, ever since I went down the rabbit hole of researching which 17mm threaded smartphone lenses actually deliver the best optics, and these do not disappoint. I can honestly say when paired with the S25 Ultra, they have allowed me to capture some of the best looking video I've ever shot, and the three that are the most useful for filmmakers are the wide angle, the 2x telephoto, and my personal favorite, the 1.33x anamorphic. And at this point, you might just be thinking, why not just use the ultra wide and telephoto lenses already built into the S25 Ultra? Why bother adding external glass at all? And the answer comes down to two things: sensor size and focal length. Taken together, these two things determine image quality far more than many people realize. When it comes to sensor size, typically only the main lens gets the premium sensor. On the S25 Ultra, that main camera uses a 1/1.3-inch Samsung ISOCELL sensor, but the ultra-wide 14mm lens drops all the way down to a 1/2.5-inch sensor, and the 3x 63mm telephoto sensor is smaller again at just 1/3.52 inches. To put that in perspective, the ultra-wide sensor is about 3.7 times smaller than the main sensor, and the telephoto sensor is roughly 7 times smaller. And that massive drop in sensor size has real consequences: worse low light performance, more noise, reduced dynamic range, and an image that simply can't compete with what the main camera is capable of. And that's the key insight here. The main sensor on a modern flagship phone actually punches way above its weight, which is exactly why, if premium image quality is the goal, you should always be building around the main sensor. Now let's talk focal length. On the Blackmagic, I'm using the legendary Sigma 18-35mm paired with a Metabone speed booster. That lets me mount Canon EF lenses onto the Micro Four Thirds mount, and it also reduces the crop factor from 2 times down to 1.3. The result is that at its widest, this lens behaves like a 23mm full frame equivalent, which matches the 23mm main lens on the S25 Ultra. At the long end, the 35mm becomes a 45mm equivalent, and this matters because focal length isn't just about framing. Longer focal lengths naturally create more background separation, shallower depth of field, and much more flattering facial proportions. Wide lenses exaggerate features and distort faces, especially up close. One of the biggest giveaways that footage was shot on a smartphone is that even close-ups are still captured on a wide lens, But when I attached the Reeflex 2x lens to the S25 Ultra's main camera, something important happens. That 23mm wide lens instantly becomes a 46mm equivalent without giving up the main sensor. Now I get the compression, depth separation, and more natural facial rendering you'd expect from a portrait lens. The same logic applies at the wide end. The S25 Ultra's built-in wide uses a much smaller sensor, but by attaching the Reeflex wide-angle lens to the main camera, I get an ultra-wide 18mm equivalent that still benefits from the larger, higher-quality sensor. It's fantastic for landscapes, but it's also what turns the S25 Ultra into an incredible vlogging camera, immersive, wide, and stable when used with a gimbal, while still delivering better image quality than the native ultra-wide. And vlogging is something you simply can't do with the Blackmagic. I mean, technically you can vlog with it, but without autofocus or built-in stabilization, this is where the S25 Ultra absolutely dominates. And finally, the lens that filmmakers usually gravitate towards the most, and my personal favorite, the Reeflex 1.33x Anamorphic. Anamorphic lenses squeeze the image horizontally, in this case by a factor of 1.33 times. The image looks distorted at first until you de-squeeze it in post by the same amount, giving you a wider field of view. But anamorphic lenses don't just make your video wider, they fundamentally change how the image feels. You get oval bokeh, softer edges, more pronounced internal reflections, and of course those iconic horizontal lens flares. Most smartphones record natively in a 16:9 ratio, so if you shoot 16:9 with a 1.33x anamorphic and de-squeeze it, you end up with 2.39:1 cinema scope. But here's where things get really interesting. If you shoot Open Gate in MotionCam Pro, which uses the phone's full 4x3 sensor, and then apply a 1.33x anamorphic lens, once you de-squeeze the image, you land right back at 16:9 or close enough. That makes this setup perfect for YouTube, web delivery, or TV, and you get it at a full 5.4K resolution once de-squeezed with all the classic anamorphic attributes. MotionCam Pro also fully supports anamorphic lenses. Under General Settings, right at the bottom, you can apply a 1.33x preview de-squeeze. This doesn't affect your final recording, it just corrects the live preview so you can frame accurately. All of these lenses use a 17mm mount and screw directly into the Reeflex case for the S25 Ultra. They're exceptionally well made, optically excellent, and feature magnetic lens caps. And with these lenses, I'm no longer locked into that typical 23mm smartphone look. I can shoot true ultra-wides, flattering portraits with the telly, and 5.4K anamorphic video, all while using the best sensor on the phone for the highest possible image quality. And if you want to save 10% off Reeflex lenses, there's a discount code in the description. And now we come to the third essential element of this pocket cinema build, ND filters. An ND filter does one job. It reduces the amount of light entering the lens, and the reason we need to do this is so we can control motion blur using something called the 180-degree shutter rule. Achieving it is simple. You set your shutter speed to double your frame rate. I'm shooting at 24 frames per second, so my shutter speed needs to be 1/48. MotionCam Pro also supports shutter angle. If I set it to 180 degrees, it automatically calculates the correct shutter speed for me of 1/48. The problem is daylight. Smartphones don't have variable apertures like my Sigma lens, so once ISO is at its minimum, the image is still massively overexposed. The only way the phone can compensate is by cranking back up the shutter speed, which completely kills motion blur. And this is where our ND filter comes in. If I attach this fixed ND64 from Reeflex, the scene is suddenly exposed correctly while keeping my shutter at 180 degrees. This is a fixed ND64, meaning it cuts a fixed amount of light, 6 stops to be exact. Fixed NDs deliver the most neutral image with the least color cast, but the downside is the lack of convenience. You have to physically swap filters to let in more or less light. The other option is a variable ND. These let you dial in exposure simply by twisting the filter. They usually come in 2 ranges, 1 to 5 stops and 6 to 9 stops, with the stronger 6 to 9 range being more suitable for daylight. The best thing about the Reeflex NDs is that I can use these filters both with and without Reeflex lenses, thanks to the adapter rings, which attach magnetically and let me maintain a 180-degree shutter under any lighting conditions, which means consistent filmic motion blur. And that's how I turn the S25 Ultra from this into this.
This is how you make me feel. This is how you make me feel. All good, all great.
MotionCam Pro unlocks true RAW video for the highest possible image quality. Reflex lenses let me exploit the best sensor on the phone while escaping the limitations of a single wide field of view, and ND filters give me full control over motion blur. Put it all together and what you get isn't just a smartphone setup, it's a true cinema camera that actually fits in your pocket. Now, I'm not saying this is better than a Blackmagic Pocket Cinema Camera. I do really love this thing, but they are obviously two very different cameras. But I am saying only one of these fits in my pocket, captures in Open Gate RAW, has great autofocus and battery life, a super bright display that can actually be seen outdoors, and delivers video that can look every bit as good as the Blackmagic under the right conditions. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please like, share, and subscribe. Links to all the gear featured in this video are in the pinned comment, including a 10% off code if you want to pick up anything from the Reeflex store. Let me know if you have any questions in the comments. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.
This is how you make me feel. This is how you make